So this lesson, what I want to do is kind of go one step further, and that is pretty much that I want to start choosing a file, adding a name, and then adding a new product with a reference to that file so it has a picture for the product. But I don't want to upload the file until I actually press the add button, so we'll start there. We'll start right now. If you choose a file and you double click right here, get a file, it'll actually upload right away. That's not my goal. So I'll jump into my upload file right here and I'll just get rid of the upload for now. Let's get rid of that, and instead of saving this file locally in the method, I'm going to save it as a variable inside the component. So let's just call it file to upload. Now I will change this later so we can have multiple images, but let's just keep it simple for now. And I want this local reference right here. I'm just going to put that in the top and just make it right here, and that's going to be of the type file. There we go. So now we have a file to upload available every time you pick a new file inside the file chooser right here. So I'll click it, I'll double click, and I'll just store that locally right here so I can use it later. And again, it's because whenever I change the file, I'm calling this method, right? And that method is, again, just going to store it locally. So easy stuff. Second step is that I want to actually add the information about this file to upload. I want to add that to my product data when I'm creating the product. So let's try and do that. Now step one is going to be that I want to just do an if statement and ask if there is actually a file to upload. I'm going to be pretty strict right here. I'm going to say you're not allowed to upload anything unless you have a file to upload, right? So we're not going to allow creating a product unless we have a file to upload for now. What I want to do is I want to use the file service if there is a file, and I want to upload the file that is for this product, right? That's pretty much what I want to do. Now here's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you that you can actually pipe right here. So what I'll do is I'll pipe the data right here inside the component actually, and I'll get back some metadata. Whoops. I'll use a switch map right here, and there I'll get some metadata back, which is actually the file I just created. There's metadata about that one, and I can now use this metadata, I can add it to my product data. So what I'll do is I'll say product data, and then I'll just call it picture, let's call it picture ID for now. We'll change that later, but let's just keep picture ID is a good name, and then what I'll return is actually the ID for this specific file I just uploaded. Pretty amazing stuff. Now that I have that, I would like to use this data to actually add my product. So I'm going to grab this method right here, and since it's a switch map, I need to return an observable, and guess what? This method is actually returning an observable, and there I'll pass in the product data now, but the product data has been modified slightly to contain the ID for the actual picture I want to upload. Right? Simple stuff. The final step is I want to subscribe so that I know when we're done uploading the picture, uploading the metadata, and creating the product, I want to be notified. So I'll subscribe right here in the end just by copy pasting the subscribe we had before, and then as the final thing adding a curly bracket right here. And that's actually how simple it is for me to kind of use the pipe and the switch map inside a component. Now this might be moved into a service later, but I just want to show you guys that you can actually easily do it directly inside the components if you want to use the piping. Sweet. So now it should actually do everything I need. But there is a small thing, and that is I remember that I protected myself from getting bad data when I create products. So let's try and go into the add product and see if we're actually getting the picture ID onto Firestore. And the answer is no, because right now a product doesn't know that it should have a picture ID. So let's jump into our product file right here and add a new area called picture ID. Picture ID. There we go, and that'll be of the type string. And let's actually make it optional for now, just because I might end up having some that doesn't have a picture ID right now. Sweet. So now we have the picture ID ready. The second thing I need to do is, of course, when I call the add product right here, I need to add that picture ID in here as well. So I'll say picture ID, and I'll say product of picture ID. So that's pretty much just mapping that picture ID into the picture ID in the products I'm adding right now, the document, right? So that should be it. I should be done. Let's try and see if this is actually working right now. So first of all, let's choose a file. Boom. Let's write awesome drone. Rips. And let's try and add this. Now what's going to happen hopefully is first we go in and we create the file, the metadata for the file. Second, we go in and we create the file. And third, we go in and we create the product with a reference to that file. So a lot of thing happens right here just to create that single file. But it seems that we got an awesome drone up here at least. So, and this is the ID for that awesome drone. So let's start out on Firebase right here and have a look. So I have the products right here, and what did it say what the ID was? T something, TQ, there we go, it's this guy. And there you can see that now we have a drone, awesome drone, with a picture ID right here. So that means that now there should actually in the database be something called YDJ something inside the files collection. And there it is, YDJ. We have the metadata available right here, sweet. Now the third step was of course also that it should be up here. I just cleaned my database, so just give it a second. Because now the picture should actually also be available up here. So we have product pictures, and on that one there should be a YD something, which is an image, and there we go. So we just made 3 calls in a single observable request, or in a single subscribe. And this is kind of, I want to show you guys how you can actually start linking together and piping together your different calls, and you can actually make subscribing pretty simple to read if you just say, I want to upload and then I want to add the product, right? It's fairly simple to read this code if you start learning these subscriptions. So that's it for this lesson. I just proved that we can actually now upload a picture to an actual product. Next lesson, let's try and use it. Have fun.